I feel like salamanders are overreacting a little bit. Greetings, brothers. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed how many salamander fans have been complaining about the lack of salamander cosmetics, the champion skin, or the armor pieces coming in the PTS. I personally am sick of it. Were they done wrong? Maybe, but they sure aren't hated on by Saber. Okay, Saber does not hate salamanders for these reasons. Okay, some points I see frequently mentioned. The Salamander champion is bad. Armor pieces coming with patch 11 are bad. The salamanders didn't get enough successors. I'd like to address some of these points. Okay, I think this is a fair way to approach this subject. Now, when it comes to salamander cosmetics, personally, I really like what I saw in the PTS. And yes, I understand their successor chapters. They, as far as I know, and as far as I've been told and read, they do have less successor chapters, right? So it does make sense why they only have 4 colorways there. And ultimately, I do really like the armor pieces we are seeing as well. I think if you really do it right, salamanders are going to look very cool and potentially the flashiest out of every chapter in the game, I personally think, because they're gonna have a torch. They're gonna have a torch. They're literally gonna be like on fire. If they have the torch and they're in the tomb, could you imagine if they could just light areas? That would be kind of sick, right? I mean, you still have the curse, right? So it wouldn't matter. But anyway, the colorways we've seen are very cool. And hold on. This is kind of where I have a twist in my opinion, unfortunately, because personally, what I saw from the PTS and yes, the patch 11 salamander cosmetics, it does kind of prove that the sniper maybe could have been done a little bit better. Maybe, because honestly, I think the salamander cosmetics we have in patch 11 that is coming up soon in November, later in the month, I honestly think, yeah, it does kind of make the sniper look just a little bit bad now. But I'd still like the sniper champion, the sniper salamander champion skin, but still, I definitely enjoyed what I seen from the salamander chapter pack way more. The pauldron, very cool, and yeah, like honestly, the salamander sniper now, the cape is like the only defining factor. And not to mention the armor pieces still being stuck to, I think, Vanguard and Sniper, right? So they would definitely need to loosen up the chest piece, and maybe we can cook up something pretty extreme with salamanders. But personally, I'm satisfied. But, however, I definitely think they should have included a chest piece, but it's probably not that important. I think they got the defining factors of the chapter, and not to mention potential for some torch gameplay to light up some areas. That would be kind of funny. But yeah, regardless, I understand where salamanders are a little disappointed, because I thought the same thing. I thought there wasn't really that much. We were down a chest piece and there weren't as many colors, but yeah, apparently that's just lore based. So yeah, let's go into these subjects. Let's see how salamanders could be overreacting. Salamanders are already known to be hunters of the Drakes of Nocturne. The sniper does fit into that role just fine. The cape looks amazing. It does. The cape does look very cool, as does the armor. I do think there's some potential for some really good mixes there for sure. However, for me personally, whenever I try to use the cape on other colors, dude, it just stands out a little bit too much. I really do like the Prestige cape for Sniper. I enjoy that. But yeah, I mainly go to the Sniper champion for the cape. Saber already stated the redesigning popular armor pieces to fit on other classes as well. Yes. Sure, the Sniper isn't a Salamander 101 like how you imagine him, but he fits an aspect of the chapter that is already undervalued. Honestly, fair point. But yeah, dude, when it comes to year 1 champions, dude, man, there was not a lot of room there for a Sniper, unless it was to, it was going to be like Raven Guard Sniper, and then we might not have been able to get like Raven Guard Assault, you know what I mean? Yeah, dude, and not to mention, there's a lot coming down the line. I mean, Sniper, dude, if Sniper gets Deathwatch, you know how hyped that would be, dude? That would be sick. I would be very happy to see that. But okay, that's kind of a side subject there. But yeah, as far as the Sniper champion right now, I am starting to fall out of love with it just a little bit because of the patch 11 Salamander chapter pack that's coming up. So regardless, the cape is cool. No, they don't suck at all, and they do fit the Salamander's aesthetic. The helmet actually looks fine, in my opinion. Sure, it isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be. It's an official Games Workshop part anyway, so it's likely not getting changed. The pauldrons are fine. Who's complaining about the pauldrons? Dude, the pauldrons are like kind of like the sickest part, dude. They're equal to the torch, in my opinion. The pauldrons are fine. I'll admit the dragon icon looks a bit wacky. Oh, that's fair. I mean, isn't it because of like the texture of it though? I don't think it's because of the design, right? But come on, it's mounted on a background of obsidian that doesn't get more volcanic than that. They don't have that many successors to begin with, and the only notable ones they're missing are the storm giants and black dragons. Both of these can already be created in-game. Oh, okay, that's actually, oh wow, fair point. Not really a lot for me to expand on that. These are of course my takes, so feel free to disagree. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about, is just the Sniper Salamander champion really does look bad in comparison to the Salamander chapter pack. Like, in my opinion. Anyone complaining about the obsidian is wild. I do understand where they could think the dragon icon looks a little bit wacky. That's fair. But I just think that's because of the texture, you know what I mean? But hey, we will see. Dude, honestly, I did put the Salamander chapter pack cosmetics on for like a second because I really wanted to see how it looks, and it does look very good. So I do think that chapter pack could potentially be one of the best ones. However, I can definitely understand where people think it is a little bit, it's missing something, because technically it is. Even though maybe a chess piece isn't even like 100% appropriate, it still would have been nice to get a chess piece. But all right, let's go into the comments. Let's see how people reacted to this one. I mean, that title is kind of spicy. I feel like the Sniper Champion does a lot of things right. Like the open face showcasing the Sally's unique appearance, Drake scale and teeth, hammer and tongues, anvil imagery, and my personal favorite thing about it is the gold flames on the greaves, arm, and breastplate. Yeah, that's true. The flames look sick, it's just the limitations because of the armor, right? I just wish I could have those things on a class that I feel better represents my favorite 40k faction, and the Salamander cosmetic pack has failed to deliver that for me. That's unfortunate. They do fit the aesthetic, sure, but it doesn't mean they did it well. In my opinion, the left pauldron looks overcooked and tacky. Whoa! Harsh criticism. Man, okay. Right pauldron is okay, but I want the ability to change the decal on it. Oh, that'd be cool. Power pack, brazier, war gear is awesome. Easily the best thing from all the cosmetic packs so far. See, even the person who doesn't like the chapter pack definitely says there's potential for us to cook something here at the very least, dude. I like to see that, because that's true. It probably is going to be the most noticeable piece on anybody's armor, to be completely honest. I like they went for the Salamander upgrade spur design for the helmet, but I feel like they could have done a better job with the model. Okay, yeah, I did kind of forget to talk about the helmet in the post, right? The helmet doesn't bother me too much because I think I'm just going to use other helmets, but that's definitely not a good solution for that. Honestly, the helmet's not even that bad. I just think people started talking about the kissy lips, right? And then it was kind of meme for a bit. I don't know. We'll see how it looks. It looked fine on heavy. Like, you can't make anything look bad on heavy. True, storm giants are already in the game and have been since launch, I think. Black dragons would have been nice, but as far as I know, both of these chapters are only rumored, suspected to be successors. Oh, wow, lore check. I suspect Saber didn't want to tread on any toes by throwing them in with successors. Okay, if that is the case, then either Games Workshop is letting Saber know about that. That's probably the case, right? Games Workshop is letting Saber know. Hey, either way, that's still very... I think that's respectable attention to detail from both ends. That's fair. I feel like a lot of the complaints for the sniper skin were born from lack of understanding regarding Saber's long-term plans, with the general assumption at the time that each first founding chapter would only get one champion each and they were never going to be customizable. At the end of the day, people paid for this content. They have a right to complain to a point. Oh no, for sure. I mean, still, even with this comment, I think is a very fair, critical comment, and they even point out to themselves to a point. So I think overall, this is definitely a fair perspective. So if you were on the side of, like, nah, salamanders are rightfully complaining, there are definitely some things that I think, as far as details, there's definitely some things that you can be critical of, for sure. But I still just think it just comes down to the fact that we really are missing like one piece of armor, at least in my opinion. As far as the successor chapters, hey, you got red and black for me. I'm good. Like, to be honest, I'm super good for that. So yeah, I like the obsidian pauldron. The other pauldron, yeah, that's true. The other, I mean, I guess we will see, dude. We really need to see salamanders get the expanded champion armor pieces, and then I think people would be a little bit happier. But at the same time, this is definitely a fair perspective to have, for sure. Their stuff is pretty bad, and I'm not even a Salamanders fan. No chest piece, odd helmet choice, sniper as a champion, no Pyre Blaster. Dude, okay, the Pyre Blaster, Pyre Cannon skins, I think is a fair point. I'm just not too sure how that lined up in development because we just recently got those weapons, right? So, I don't know. That's not something we're going to get in the champion skin, regardless. However, I do think this is something we should have. Like, the Pyre Blaster and the Pyre Cannon at some point need like a Salamander skin, 100%. It should have been in this chapter. It should have been in this chapter pack, but whatever. It is what it is, but we will get one of these for sure, dude. I think this might be the defining like trait to really make it justified for salamanders to complain about their cosmetic choice, for sure. At some point. I do think the Pyre Blaster and the Pyre Cannon should get skins, salamander skins. But yeah, until they do, salamander fans are not going to be satisfied. If it was one or two missteps, I don't think people would care much, but everything they've gotten so far is, as you described several times in your post, fine. Then you look at the content for chapters like Blood Angels and Black Templars. Wait, no. Hold on, what? Then you look at the content for chapters like Blood Angels and Black Templars. Okay, so I guess, sorry, I was thinking about chapter packs, and we did not get a Black Templar chapter pack. I think he's referring to the Black Templar champion skin, obviously. But yeah, it is a good piece. Dude, the Black Templar champion skin, I like it. I just don't know if I like it more than the Dark Angels. It's interesting. I think it's comparable. The sword is cool. The sword is cooler. It makes it even worse by comparison. The only thing that looks worse by comparison, in my opinion, is the Sniper champion skin. But still, it does have a really good cape, so that's good. So at the very least, it does have a defining factor for me to use it. And not to mention, yeah, we should talk about the actual Bolt Sniper skin on it as well. But here's the thing. See, that's the other disappointing factor about the Sniper champion skin, is the fact that we're going to get an improved Bolt Sniper soon. So the coolest, potentially one of the coolest part about the champion skin, you might not even be using anymore. So I don't know. We will see. But yeah, the Black Templars champion skin is definitely very cool. The Bulwark has right now the two coolest champion skins, essentially, and then, you know, Heavy with the Ultramarine one. Nah, they're all very cool, to be honest. But yeah, some of them I start to like more, and then some of them I start to dislike more once you compare it. Honestly, yeah, that's the only thing for the Salamander champion, is it just looks a little bit undercooked compared to some of the pieces in the Salamander chapter pack. But it is what it is. For now, we will see. But I am glad somebody mentioned Pyre Blaster skins, because I definitely agree with that one. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this one, and thanks for watching.